truth.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey, bacon, avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to the AndersonHouseHotel.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, freezing fog possible with a low of 24, then Wednesday, sunshine with a high of 38. Heat up these cold nights with the hottest musical acts around at Crooner's Supper Club. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. Visit croonersmn.com to view their schedules and food menus.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
With Greg Bakun. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. And, as we start off everything, where I left off yesterday, talking about we're doing the Parafair in Wabasha, Minnesota this Saturday, January 10th, 9 to 5, $5 to get in. I'm speaking. Okay, we got through all that. I'm trying to pack my suitcase, and someone wants to go with me, clearly. And so I've been unable to pack for the past half an hour because I have a small cat in my suitcase that refuses to get out, and she now believes that that is her new home. And well, maybe I do take her with me. I don't know, but that's what we're dealing with. That's what's going on over at Bakun Manor tonight, as we're getting ready for the big Parafair in Wabasha. Once again, folks, that is this Saturday, 9 to 5. Hope to see you out there. Lots of teams and stuff going to be out there. I want to talk about something tonight, and it's been on my mind to talk about for a while. We've had a couple shows talking about certain locations from Tombstone, Arizona, but this is something that I have, I've been to once. I really need to go back again. I loved it. It's such a great experience, and this is the Wild West, and this is really where so much history has taken place, and I want to talk about it. And a while back, I met our guest tonight, Tracy Pineau, talking about the events that she puts on there, the events that she's helped out with, all this stuff. And I just thought, boy, it'd be nice to talk about a couple different places. I want to talk a little bit about some of my experiences, but I want to talk about what she's experienced, what she knows. And if there's any questions that you have about what we're talking about, put a question in the comment. That's what it's here for. I am very happy tonight as I bring to you our guest, Tracy Pineau. Tracy, welcome to GhostBox Radio. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you on, and I'm so glad that we're able to do this. Now, I took a trip out to Arizona in 2019, and amongst the places that I visited and did some paranormal stuff in was Tucson, was Tombstone, and also Bisbee, and so at all of these locations, the activity was not only off the hook, but it was intelligent. And that was this thing that just kind of blew me away. I mean, and the good news is I have video footage of all that. I was out there with somebody else, and we were actually shooting footage for a show that we were going to get on the Travel Channel. And the production company said, if you're going out there, record, and so we could put together a sizzle reel for you. And so we went out there, and we had this great experience. But going out to Tombstone, first of all, I mean, it might be cliche to say this, Tracy, but it really felt like you're walking in history. That's not hyperbole, I don't think. I think that's exactly what it was.
Yes, the Tombstone takes great pride in having everything as original as it can be, and they're very, very good at it. And so you're pretty much living right there in the time with being directly inside the Wild West.
It really was. And so there's a couple places I want to kind of highlight tonight. And folks in the comments, if there's areas that you've been into that you want to kind of talk about, put it in the comments. Tracy's going to share some of her. I mean, Tracy's been all throughout all of Tombstone. I mean, I took a buggy ride through there, but I want to start with the birdcage. And I went out there for we went out there and we took part in their tour as well as their mini investigation at the end. It was really interesting though, Tracy, because I'm a big spirit box person. I bring it all places, and they, their house, their rules, they're like, you can't use that. They looked at that as like the same as like a Ouija board or something. That's fine. That's totally fine, because we ended up getting a lot of stuff there. Can you tell us a little bit about the background with the birdcage? Because the birdcage is really interesting in terms of how people kind of in the 1930s found out, rediscovered this place.
Yeah. So when the birdcage started, it originally started as a gambling hall. And from there, things kind of, I'm not going to say that they spiraled, but the stories that came out of that place were just flat out amazing. So the building is original. When it was built, again, started as a gambling hall and almost like a theater where not so many plays, but they had like music and stuff that would go on. That was there. So when you go into current day, what's there, everything that's in there is original. The original on the outside. Now, of course, they have to, like, every once in a while replace the windows and part of the barbed walk that goes through just for safety. So when you go in, there's some spirits that are in there that are residual, but there's a lot of it that's actually very intelligent, and they will interact with you during the time that you are there. Absolutely. Night, day, it doesn't matter. That place is active 24/7. So when you come through, they have on display, of course, if you've never been there, they have on display the old medical equipment, the old gambling cards, the old poker tables, the piano that sits up on the stage with a backdrop. And as you go up the stairway, those stairways are very original as well. And when you go through, you can do a self-guided tour during the day or do the tour at night. Both options are available, and there is a price difference between the both of them. So you can go through, walk through, and then when you go down the stairway, of course, you'll see it's not an underground piece, but it's where the poker games would be, where they would put the alcohol for prohibition, items that are like that. And then you exit through the gift shop that's there and come back up to the front of the birdcage.
I had an incredible experience there. One, disembodied voices when we were on the floor where all the gambling stuff is, but our tour guide and the tour guys, the ladies have these dresses that has these bows in the back. And the person I was with, we were just sitting there watching her give the tour, and her back was to us, and we literally saw one of the ribbons lift up and untie itself. And just like, are you kidding me? So, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, that was the start of it. I mean, and the fact is, wasn't, because you said everything in there was original, but wasn't the birdcage left kind of to its own devices? Like, it was kind of boarded up for years after Tombstone kind of closed up, and they kind of found it all in 1930 or something like that.
They had Tombstone during the Great Depression, fell just like every other American city that's out. And then when we were coming out of the Great Depression, everything was pretty much reopened back up, and it found a new life. And even till this day, the birdcage is notorious for so many reasons. And that is like one of the number one attractions that's actually there, is people want to go into the birdcage and see the birdcage and see everything, because it's where history comes alive.
History does come alive. Before I go any further, you have, I believe, one of many fans in the audience, Tiny Tasman. One says Tracy is an amazing person to work with, which,
thank you.
I'm not surprised. I want to talk real fast about Big Minnie. And Big Minnie, for I feel because I know enough about this, I tend to accidentally take over. Can you tell us about Big Minnie?
You know what? Right off the top of my head,
No, that's totally fine. And I kind of threw you there. Big Minnie was the manager. Well, she was a co-owner of the birdcage in the 1880s, and she was like 6 foot tall, a big, larger person, and she was the person, being a prostitute at the birdcage. I mean, it's not a great thing to be, but she took care of all of her girls. She made sure that they were treated humanely. She made sure, really, that they were taken care of. But there's people who had shot at her, and you could see the bullet hole and whatnot. But and
the bullet hole still exists inside the birdcage. The bullet holes still exist.
And the thing is that the person I was with channeled Big Minnie that night. And that was really pretty cool. What's really interesting about that is that I had, through my spirit box sessions, I had Big Minnie come through multiple times, not in Tombstone, but here in my house in St. Michael. And this has been on Facebook Lives and stuff. One day I had asked her, I said, do you like to be called Big Minnie, or would you just like to be called Minnie? And the response we got was Minnie. It's just incredible. I mean, I guess why would you want to be called, I'm not a small person myself, so I don't want to be called Big Greg. I get it.
Well, the name back then too kind of fit what you were doing, just like Big Nose Kate. I mean, that implements that she has a very big nose.
Yeah. Well, and I forgot about Big Nose Kate, which is just up the street from Birdcage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually on the same side of the street. So from the birdcage, you have to cross over 5th Street. And then just as you're getting over to 4th Street, Big Nose Kate sits in there. The history with that's also pretty amazing as well. But yeah, just not as like an ode for you, but they Big Nose Kate's, it's a restaurant. There's a little bar that's in there. and everything. It's a dining establishment to this day. And I know that they also offer paranormal investigations as well. I'm not too sure of the cost, but they take you down in the stairwell as well, so you can see the swamper. And so you can, yes. Yeah, so they have a nice bar that's in there. Really good food. I've eaten there many, many times as well.
I bet. Well, and I think all we had was a drink in there. And so in the 1800s, 1880s, 1890s, there was a Big Nose Kate restaurant then at that time.
Yes.
God, that's incredible. You know, it really is incredible.
They took the front part of that because I believe that was part of the original hotel. So they took the front of it. And I want to say, which I could be wrong, the front part of it where Big Nose Kate's is, you would have been the reception or the lobby area for the hotel.
God, it's just so cool. And we were talking about before going on the show, we were talking about like the planks on the street. I mean, yeah, they get replaced, but even that just is such a, you know, it's such a part of what that history was at that time. That's how you know, that's how ladies, especially ladies walking up and down the street, they're not walking in dirt, they're not walking in mud, there isn't cement, there's these wood planks in front of the buildings.
Correct.
Yeah,
that is correct.
It's so cool. And I was mistaken because once again, we were talking before the show, I had thought that a great deal of Tombstone I thought there was more to it than modern day Tombstone. I thought it was a lot of it was torn down or whatever else, but I'm wrong. That's not the case.
Yeah. So a lot of people, when they go to visit Tombstone, they're actually very amazed and surprised on how small it is.
Yeah.
Because it seems a lot bigger within the movies, and with the compacted history that Tombstone has, it seems like it would have been much bigger of a town. And then when you get there and you're going, most of your action happens on Allen Street within about a 3-block radius. And then you have a few things that are on Fremont Street, which is the way to get in. And then a few things on the back, which is Tefnut Street. So it's something that you can definitely spend at least a full day. But that full day, you may want to extend into 2 days. So therefore, you can go in and see all the different attractions, go into the mine, go visit the arcade, go visit Boot Hill, and the OK Corral, and just to get everything in so you can experience the whole entire thing and have time to do everything. Because history, if you go into it, you can spend quite some time in the birdcage. You can spend some time in the Historama, which is right next door to the OK Corral. Go to the courthouse, spend your time there. So if you want to take like a day and just visit everything, give yourself at least 2 days to go in there and be able to see everything, because there's a ton to look at.
I mean, without a doubt. I was there, I think, 2 days. We were actually there over the 4th of July. And so there were fireworks up against the mountain. It was, I mean, it's just such an amazing experience. And we did we did the mine tour. And then as we talked as well, we did we went to the courthouse, and like you said, that's not available for investigations. That's
Correct.
More of a historic location to go in and check it out, right?
Yes. And they do have, when you go over there, you pay the fee to get in. It's all original and stuff that they found around town. You have the first floor and you have a little bit on the second floor. And then you can go around into the back and look at the courtyard and see the gallows that's there. So it's pretty interesting to look at.
That's right, the gallows. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course in front of it is the big light pole where they did at least one hanging. And I'm sure there was more, but there was at least one hanging that was there, and that was to deal with the Bisbee massacre with John Heath, where the townspeople did not do very well, and he was strung up from the light pole in front of the courthouse.
Oh my goodness, folks! There is so much to talk about. What we want to do right now is I want to get a break in. When we come back, I want to talk about China Mary's house. We're going to talk about who China Mary is.
Yes.
talk more about Tracy's experience. But anything you want to do, put into the comments. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are. But now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then, climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis' haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh, every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com. Kick off the new year with Ghost Stories and Beyond at Billy's Bar and Grill in Anoka, Wednesday, January 7th at 6:30 p.m. Join Char Savoy and me, Greg Bakun, as we dive into haunted locations right here in Minnesota, sharing where to investigate and hearing real stories from the audience. It's all part of what we call Haunt Local. Tickets are just $10, and yes, Billy's has half-price burgers that night. Ghost Stories and Beyond, January 7th at Billy's in Anoka. And that is tomorrow, Ghost Stories and Beyond and Billy's in Anoka. Please come out and visit us. It's at 6:30, and it's $10 to get in. We're, like we said in the commercial, we're talking about local haunts, which is something that's very important to a lot of us right now. And in fact, on my GhostBox Radio page, I just posted an article, or actually a post from Tammy, who owns the Calumet Inn in Pipestone, Minnesota. She's had nothing but horrible legal problems in Pipestone, with the city muscling her to shut down the hotel. And she has factually put together exactly what was happening and how that city really had done her wrong. And she's still fighting. Please go over to GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun on Facebook, or Historic Calumet Inn, and read the post. It's very eye-opening. And just remember, folks, we've been saying this. If there's a local haunt, a local place that you go to investigate, please support them, because it's really hard to get funding, and it's sometimes really hard to even break even. We are talking tonight with Tracy Pineau. We're talking about Haunted Tombstone, and I just got to say, you got quite the audience here tonight in the comments. I absolutely love it. You have Sharon in here, you have Rosie in here, Iris. You have, I almost said Tracy. That's you responding to them. You got a lot. That's really cool. I'm so happy to see People came out to support you. Now, you got some stuff going on. We talked a little bit about a program that's going to be coming out tomorrow, right?
Yes. So I did a lot of work in Tombstone. I still go down there quite a bit because I still talk with a few of the people that are down there. But I do make my home also as well as Vulture City. Vulture City will be on Expedition X tomorrow night. And the gentleman that I do work with, Damien, will be on the episode as well. And we did the work with Jack Osborne and Heather Amaro way back in March. So that will be premiering tomorrow night.
Oh, that's great. Fantastic. Happy to hear that. And they can see that exactly where again?
On the Discovery Channel.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, it's the season opener for that. So I do work at Vulture City, a lot of it. I do work in Tombstone. And so what I've been trying to do is to kind of link Vulture City with Tombstone along with Yuma. So there is a team that I have been working with in Yuma as well. So trying to find everything to kind of link together. So therefore it's also a part of Arizona history in the mining, which affected not just the state, but it affected the rest of the country. So Vulture was #1 in gold to this day, developed by Henry Wickenburg. And then Tombstone, of course, had the silver and ore. And then, of course, Yuma, that's notorious just for the prison itself, but how they're kind of like interlinked, how they work together, how they went from one spot to another spot. It's, hey, we found some gold, or hey, we found some silver. And being able to link everything together as one.
And then, of course, you have Bisbee, that's copper.
Yes, yeah, Bisbee, that's copper, and they're still #1 in the copper area. I was just in Bisbee last month for that, going through. So just seeing how everything went, to go through is a very interesting thing, because there's a lot of people that are kind of like forgotten history that either started in Tombstone or started at Vulture, or they made their way over in Yuma or even in Bisbee, and how it was going through, how it fell, things that are like that to go through. But by far, between Vulture City as well as Tombstone, they are both so utterly haunted.
Oh gosh, yeah. So when I was over at Bisbee, I stayed at the Copper Queen, and you might be familiar with the building next door to it.
Yes.
I almost bought it.
Oh, yeah. When I was there a month ago, I was at the Oliver House.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's just an amazing place.
Yeah.
But life's changes and things happen, and it's just like, oh, didn't work out. But such great memories of there, and maybe at some point we'll have to talk a little bit about that. Rob Guttrow says, who is going to be on GhostBox in a couple weeks, I believe. The Copper Queen Hotel in Bisbee is really haunted. Sure is. I ran into one female ghost in the lobby area. Tracy, did you see the book where there with guest reports of ghosts?
Yes.
Yeah, there is. I've seen it too, actually, and it's incredible. There's a lot to talk about there, because we did in the restaurant. They weren't open, and they closed it off, and we did some more shooting for our sizzle reel in there, and it was just incredible. We got to talk about that sometime, but I want to talk about Tombstone.
Yes, that's why we're here.
Well, and I'm happy though, Rob, that and we had Rob on before talking about the birdcage. I'm happy to hear that he went down to Bisbee. It's such a vibe. It's very different.
Yeah, it's a very different. So from Tombstone, Bisbee is about another 27, give or take, miles down the road.
Yep.
That's there. So it's not very far. It's just a different vibe that you're there, where Bisbee is more, I can't say, it's just calmer energy.
It's almost artistic, isn't it?
Yeah, there's that and Jerome, which are both very calm energy. Tombstone is just, there was so much that happened within like a 3 and 4 year period of time. It's just, you had the murder, you had the hangings, people would shoot each other in the streets, martial law. There was really no law that was down there. It was just martial law.
What I like about Tombstone is, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stores in Tombstone, but it doesn't seem as as like, you know, a visitor tourist trappy as much as I love Deadwood. Deadwood is, you know, very much like every place on the street that you're walking down, people are selling t-shirts and stuff, and that's really not the case in Tombstone.
Correct.
And it's nice. One last question about Bisbee. Rob wanted to know, did you stay at the Copper Queen?
No, I actually stayed at the Oliver House. There was a friend of ours, or mine, and a few other people that actually had rented out the Oliver House for a birthday. So there was a bunch of us that went down there, and one of the people inside the chat, the group Get Out Paranormal, they were down there with myself and my sister as well. And the lady who actually had the birthday party, her team is called His and Hers.
Okay. I at some, like I said, at some point I got to tell the story about Copper Queen, because we had a room that it's over back by the pool as it happens, but you can't get to the pool by there because it's like an extended part of the hallway that actually is a room that's a little off of the actual building, if that makes any sense. It's such a weird configuration, but going down there, the energy was so heavy and bad, dark, sort of. It felt like we were walking, you know, dead men walking, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's a lot of that's over by down in Tombstone. As you walk, we get mediums that are down there, and some of the paranormal investigators that go down there, and they say, okay, this area is a little bit dark. Feel like somebody was shot here. But it's like, okay, when you take a look at the size of the town, I mean, every square inch of it that's there, you know, somebody was shot, somebody was murdered, somebody was whatever, you know, the case may be, because it was all martial law back then.
Absolutely. Now, I want to talk a little bit about China Mary and China Mary's house.
Yes.
And so China Mary may not be a name that people hear a lot about when it comes to Tombstone, because I think a lot of people will think of like Wyatt and Virgil Earp, Doc Holliday, the Clantons, all that stuff. But China Mary was instrumental for giving Chinese immigrants places to work in that area. She was the go-to person, and also you don't make her angry. You don't backstab her. You don't piss her off. You don't do any of that, because she controlled so much. She was such an influential person. And she was a shrewd businesswoman, wasn't she?
Yes, very, very shrewd businesswoman. So the area that she did, which is kitty corner behind Fort Deuces, that area was known as Hot Town, which she helped control. She is buried at Boot Hill, and she was a very shrewd businesswoman, ran a very, very tight ship. Helped a lot of the Chinese immigrants. A lot of them were minors. She had her own brothel that was there as well. And she has her own little gravesite that's over at Boot Hill. It is titled China Mary, but she was so essential to that part to actually help Tombstone grow within that business district.
And so at the time, a friend of the person I went with was friends with the owner of China Mary's house. And it was a store. He turned it into a store of all kinds of different things. And as soon as we got in there, activity started, and K2s are running wild. And the one things that I personally look at when I come to a K2 is intelligent responses with the lights. You know, can you only light up to here? Can you do whatever? And one of the things, and we did some flashlight play. It was really interesting. But one of the things he was talking about, kind of getting like, it felt like that she wasn't happy. He was there running the store, and I said to him, based on what we were just talking about, I said, would you consider paying her rent every month, like some kind of tribute, if you will, and put it in a little basket and say, this is for you. And he did it, and right away, she was super, super happy. We got her name through the spirit box, but we also we also got his name through the spirit box in the same voice that we attributed to China Mary, because we were talking about, once again, we're talking about money and we're talking about rent. And we asked who pays the rent, and she said his name. And it was really, it was just incredible. And Iris in the comments says she called us rats when we communicated with her. We didn't get called anything, but we were speaking her language, and that was money. So
yeah, Iris and her team as well. She's got 4 members of the team. I don't know if they all want to be mentioned or not. They actually have been over to China Mary, and when they did the Boot Hill investigation, they were also called rats there as well, over by her headstone.
And well, it's interesting too, because we got her, so we got everything with the K2s and stuff in her shop. You go out the back, there's this fountain that's not in use, and then there's this other building behind that was part of the property that he owned. I'm assuming it.
But that fountain now works.
Well, I'm happy to hear it. It wasn't working there, but that's in the building behind is where we were getting all the spirit box stuff, which was really interesting.
And the current owner, the current owners have China Mary's into Airbnb.
Oh, interesting. And probably that back area then is probably where people are staying, right? Yeah. Because there was the person I was with, she being a medium, she said that there was a little girl in there, that she had picked up a little girl in there that fell in the bathtub in the shop that before it was a shop, and she had never left the store. I don't know if anyone's heard anything like that before or anything.
Yeah, we had it during the 2024 Paracon that we had gone there. I had 2 investigators that were over there, which was Karen Edelman and Jessica Potter. And they were running investigations, and they got the little girl that was there, that was still there. So the question that a lot of people have is, the spirits in Tombstone, are they there by choice? Are they trapped there? Or, whatever the case may be.
What do you think?
I think they're there. Some of them are there because they want to be there, because the spirits will mess with you during the day as well as they will at night. The only place that I really found where the activity kind of subsides at night would be the OK Corral and Boot Hill, because the spirits over at Boot Hill will tell you when it's dark outside to go home and go to sleep.
It's time to leave. Yeah, no, I mean, in my experience too, I mean, when you said, my first thought is I didn't get that impression from spirits that they were kind of forced to stay there. But it's I don't know, but it's an interesting theory, right?
Right.
Iris also goes on to say one of the investigators paid China Mary as well, and she was indeed happy.
Yeah. Actually, her team actually made very decent friends with China Mary while they were there. And when they go, I want to say that they do go down to Boot Hill and pay their respects as well as they go down to another place, which was the original morgue, which is over by China Mary's, and it's called Smokey's Wild Ass Emporium. And that was the original morgue in Tombstone, where they, people, when they go, I always refer them to that place as well, because it's just a real interesting feel.
I love the fact that people have befriended China Mary, because the interaction that I had with her, the same with my interaction with Big Minnie, has left such a positive influence on my life. I think of them actually often. I think of them as, I don't think of them as spirits. I think of as people that I've had the opportunity to meet and talk with, because it was such a great experience, and I love it.
Yeah, the whole entire town, it's a great experience, whether you believe in the paranormal or not. It's just great just because of all the history that was involved. And like I said, it's a very compacted history from when the Earps got there in 1879 until they left. It's such a compacted history, and there's so much information and so many people besides the Earps, the Clantons, the McLaurys. You got Frank Buckskin Leslie, you have Billy Claiborne, you have a lot of the Marshal Fred White that was there. There's so many people that had such a predominant appearance that was there, and a lot of them do get forgotten along the way, because the movie, of course, focuses in on the Earps and the Clantons and the McLowrys.
Yeah.
That a lot of the other people that are there seem to almost be forgotten.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Why don't we go ahead and do this? Let's get to our next break here. So when we come back, I do want to talk about the OK Corral. I want to talk about Boot Hill. I mean, we probably won't have time for all of it, but we'll do our very best. Any questions you all have, put in the comments. Don't go anywhere, everybody. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Greg Bakun here. I've been talking for a while about how spooky, fun, and fascinating the Minneapolis trolley tours are, but now there's big news. The Candlelight Ghost Tours now begin at the historic Pillsbury Club, a beautifully restored haunted mansion once owned by Charles Pillsbury himself. Believe it or not, the interior is nearly 200 years older than the exterior. How is that possible? You'll have to come out and find out. Before or after your tour, stop by the on-site market featuring a curated collection of handmade goods, artisan crafts, and locally inspired treasures. Perfect for picking up a keepsake to remember your haunting adventure. You'll also find exclusive spooky merchandise from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira. Then, climb aboard the climate-controlled trolley as we travel through Minneapolis' haunted hotspots, uncovering ghost stories that locals would rather keep buried. The mansion is restored to perfection, and there is no better way to spend an evening. Visit MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for tickets and more information.
Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
Greg Bakun here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Maverick's Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
Greg Bakun here. It's nice to get out of the Twin Cities and take some travel excursion to some great locations. Minnesota has so much to offer, which is why I love traveling down to Wabasha and staying at the historic Anderson House Hotel. Opened in 1856, this beautiful hotel offers comfortable accommodations, has a delicious restaurant, and even a speakeasy in the basement to unwind with a drink. Located next to the Mississippi River and on Main Street, there is a lot of sightseeing and shopping to do too. To get more information, go to theandersonhousehotel.com. Kick off the new year with Ghost Stories and Beyond at Billy's Bar and Grill in Anoka, Wednesday, January 7th at 6:30 p.m. Join Char Savoy and me, Greg Bakun, as we dive into haunted locations right here in Minnesota, sharing where to investigate and hearing real stories from the audience. It's all part of what we call Haunt Local. Tickets are just $10, and yes, Billy's has half-price burgers that night. Ghost Stories and Beyond, January 7th at Billy's in Anoka. And join us tomorrow on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun. We are going to have on Psychic Medium, Refined Divine. We're doing one-question readings. Deb is going to be joining us. It's always a lot of fun. Send us your questions. You can call in tomorrow. These are just questions to know about what's going to happen in your life, money, job, whatever. It's a lot of fun. Join us tomorrow. It's always great to have Deb on, and we'll also catch up with her and see what some of the events are coming up for her. Thursday, we're going to do a replay with Bill Evenson talking about the Universal Frankenstein horror films. It's a great conversation, especially if you like those films. You want to check that out. And then Friday, Casual Friday as usual, but we're doing it live from the Anderson House in Wabasha, Minnesota, as we get ready for the big Parafair, which is Saturday, 9 to 5, $5 to get in. We hope to see you all there. And our guest, and this is a real fun conversation. I am so happy, Tracy, that you joined me tonight. And I hope I feel like I've dominated only because I'm so excited about the topic. So I apologize.
That's okay. We're good. We will find a way to, go on a later date.
That's right. It's so much fun to talk about this place. And we have Tracy Pineau. We've been talking about Haunted Tombstone all night. And let's see here. We've got Sharon, who says, I can attest the spirits are active during the daytime. Careful on the street by the wood planks. I witnessed someone being literally pushed hard. She almost bit the dust. Wow.
Yeah, that was down by the OK Corral. We were down on Allen Street, down by the OK Corral, and she was actually with me when it happened, and she was over on the planks holding onto a pole where I literally was walking over to where she was, got pushed, and literally almost ate dirt.
Goodness. Yeah. Now I got a question about Boot Hill Cemetery.
Yes.
Now, that's always been there, right? It hasn't been moved or anything ever, right?
No, it was moved in somewhere roughly the 1940s. So when you go in to where the current location is, if you go down about a half a block, it's not even a quarter mile down, there's a boarded up old Circle K. And that's where the original location of Boot Hill was. And then they had moved it to the current location of where it's at.
So when they moved it, was that when they replaced all the tombstone or the headstones or whatever?
Yes.
Because they're all the same. They're all basically the same looking and whatnot.
Right. So they had moved everything from where that boarded up Circle K is all the way to the current location. And from my understanding, there are 244 actual marked graves that are there. And then when you go down the hill, then they have the Jewish memorial section is there, and there is no record on how many people are at the Jewish memorial.
Right.
And basically the 244 don't take into account like the mass graves. So the mass graves, they clarified it as 2 or 3 bodies or more inside one grave site. So 244 have been the ones that it is accounted for.
That's so interesting. It reminds me once again, the correlation between some of these cities. I think about like Deadwood, and you have the Mount Mora Cemetery that's at the top of Mount Mora, and that actually had been moved. It was actually further down the mountain, and then it was moved up so they can build more houses. And that's like the place where Seth Bullock is and Wild Bill Hickok is and all that. It's such an interesting. To me, it's an interesting correlation because I don't see that or hear about that too often.
Right. So when you go into Boot Hill and you park inside the parking lot, when you go through the little shed that's there, you pay the fee that's there. I want to say it's like $6, $7 somewhere right around.
Yeah.
You go in and you pay, and then what they will do is that they will give you a pamphlet on who's buried at what grave. So therefore, when you walk in, you can go visit China Mary, John Slaughter, the Brady brothers, the Clantons and McLowrys. So over at the Clanton McLowrys, you have all 3 of them buried pretty much together. That's there, and they separated it.
Yeah.
And then Billy Clanton's father, which is I. Clanton Sr., otherwise known as Old Man Clanton, is buried in the next grave just to the left of Billy. And
so, because Rob in the comments is asking, were they actually reburied in this new location, or did the bodies remain under the former Circle K? But it sounds like that they were actually moved. Yes.
As far as I know, when they moved it over, they had exhumed the coffins and put them over to where they currently sit.
It's so interesting, just so interesting. Now, I wanted to talk about the OK Corral, but I don't know how much time we're going to have to this. I want to kind of switch gears and talk about any of your experiences at Tombstone, anything that really sticks out that you're just like, this was really cool.
There was a lot of it. The 2 years that I did the Paracon actually did a lot. I was able to investigate with some of the teams and speakers that we did have. There's just so many. I have one that shows like a cowboy coming out of, I thought the picture was behind me. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, it is. But yeah, I have one of a gentleman coming up behind one of the gravestones at Boot Hill. We've had my phone put out of my hands, been pushed in the middle of the street, caught someone going down inside the mine that looks like he's peeking in saying hi. There are so many different things that are there, and I've been able to work with so many great investigators in itself, not just to say that the teams weren't good. The teams that we had there were exceptionally well. But just some of the experiences that I caught when I was there have been just, there's so many of them.
I bet. Were you getting stuff also when you weren't even trying, that, just walk around and stuff, and they wanted to make sure that they knew that that they saw you, basically?
Yeah. There's a lot of that stuff. I was told by a medium some years ago that I actually have one that kind of watches me over there, and she will not follow me inside Shefflin Hall, which is the most haunted building that's there, or at Boot Hill, because from what I've been told, she will not follow me in there because they're all attention getters. I mean, she used another word besides getters, but don't know if it's radio appropriate.
Is it safe to say that spirits know you over there?
Yes.
That's nice.
And they make it very well known that's there. I don't get so much over at the OK Corral. That's there. The activity is kind of like hit and miss. That is about the only spot that has hit and miss activity is over at the OK Corral. The history behind that is just amazing as it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, we could probably do a whole show just on the OK Corral.
Yeah.
Maybe we will. What do you think of that, huh?
Oh, hey, then I would have to go down there and be right within Tombstone itself.
Would you go down there? Could you go down there and do the show live from the OK Corral?
For a pre-recorded, yes. At night, I would have to double check.
I'm in. Or even better yet, I'll come out there and we can do the show.
That would be awesome.
It would be, actually.
Going over the little things, man. You're gonna have a lot of piecing together to do because there's just so much stuff.
I know. No, it's great. Do you get a lot of people who are convinced that they got I mean, here I am for the last hour saying, oh yeah, I've talked to China Mary, I've talked to Big Minnie. But do you get people who are like, I definitely talked to the Earp brothers, I talked to Doc Holliday? I mean, I'm sorry, I'd find that hard to kind of.
Yeah, so there's the residual that they believe is one of the Earps that goes through that will. It's a black shadow wearing the huge duster and the hat that will go over by the Crystal Palace and then just disappear around the corner. That's believed to be one of the Earp brothers. We do have people that say that they've been able to talk to the Earps over by the courthouse because when the shootout happened at the OK Corral, they all had to go to court for it. And the judge, people said that they spoke with the judge who ruled on the case. But yeah, a lot of people will come through constantly saying that they talked with some of the gals over at the Birdcage, that they talked with China Mary. Over at Boot Hill, the Clans and McLaury's will talk. The Marshal will talk. So it's all very real. That's there within the time.
I bet. And that's great. Okay. Now we're getting people talking my language. Live on air investigation.
Yeah. Okay. So the trick with that one is if you do something with Boot Hill, that one the city has to authorize because that is a city-owned thing. The rest of the shops up and down on Allen Street and Tufnut as well as Fremont, they're privately owned. So as long as we pay the fee, then we'll be able to get in there and do something.
We could make time on the station, and I guarantee we could make time on the station to do a multi-hour live investigation. I guarantee that if we should really talk about this,
we can
plan it out. And
I know some great, phenomenal investigators. So trying to, with me, I will get other investigators along and we can all do something.
I know a pretty great investigator too, me. So, yeah.
Hey, come on out.
That's that. I mean, Trust me, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you all just doing it. I'm going to be there. If we're doing it on the air, I'm there. I'm there.
Okay, so you're going to have to give a few days, so therefore I can take you over to Vulture Mine as well.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So
Iris,
we do Vulture Mine, but we'll spend time in Tombstone as well.
Nope, let's do it. Iris says, and maybe we can get Rob Guttrow out as well. That would be nice.
Bring offerings, yes. So a lot of the offerings go on tobacco. As long as you are either a smoker, you're fine. If you bring a cigar, great. If you bring actual tobacco, you may want to. We have some native guys that come through that will offer them tobacco as well. So yeah, as long as you bring something tobacco, a shot, whiskey, beer, whatever it is, works out as a great offering.
Well, and isn't that kind of like as in life as in death? I mean, basically back in the day too, to get them to talk, if you wanted information, you need to give them something, right?
Yes. So the clients in my galleries love their whiskey. So just be sure that you bring some whiskey.
Absolutely. We're running out of time here rapidly. This has been a lot of fun. And it's great to talk about our experiences and stuff. And I just, is there a good, I have about 10 seconds left. Is there a best time in the year to go out to Tombstone if people want to go and check it out?
Anytime that you want to, because it's either really hot or really cold. Take your pick.
Right,
Arizona
exactly.
has a few seasons, really hot and less hot.
It's kind of like Minnesota in a sense, but except Minnesota is generally pretty cold. But when it gets hot, it gets hot. Tracy Pineau, we've been talking about the haunted Tombstone, Arizona. What a great conversation. And Tracy, thank you so much for your insight and this wonderful conversation tonight.
Oh, thank you. This has been a blast.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We're going to have Tracy back probably multiple times talking about different things. Folks, tomorrow we're going to be talking with Psychic Medium Refined Divine. We're going to do one question readings. Don't forget Ghost Stories and Beyond and Billy's in Anoka. Everyone, have a fantastic night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Good night.